The Snowman is directed by Thomas Alfredson, who also directed Let the Right One In and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and stars Michael Fassbender, Rebecca Ferguson, Charlotte Gainsbourg, with Val Kilmer and J.K. Simmons. A series of murders are happening in the city of Oslo, Norway, and each body is found next to a snowman figure. Unorthodox detective Harry Hole, played by Michael Fassbender, teams up with a headstrong crew, played by Rebecca Ferguson, to find out who is the snowman killer before he can kill again. You've heard this story many times before. In fact, you've heard pretty much this is the same sort of story in the same sort of setting, a Scandinavian country, with the girl with the dragon tattoo, whether it be the original Swedish films or the David Fincher 2011 remake with Daniel Craig. So what new things can the Snowman bring to this genre of a serial killer, and they have detectives who are going out looking for who the person really is? Absolutely nothing. This movie has a good cast with Michael Fassbender, Rebecca Ferguson, J.K. Simmons, all of them really solid actors. And some of the cinematography is pretty gorgeous. It has these great lingering shots when it wants to introduce the massive mountain ranges that pretty much circle the city of Oslo. Okay, yeah, you have that. And nothing else. Literally nothing else. This movie astounded me with just how bad it really is. You'll start to hear some news stories about the director talking about how he couldn't get to shoot 10 to 15% of the script, that they didn't have the money, they didn't have the right production time to really do what they wanted to do with this movie. Okay, that's a admirable enough excuse. It doesn't excuse the fact that what is here makes no sense whatsoever. Unless that 10 to 15% of the script is like some big expository scene that really wraps up everything else, this movie is just a cacophony of empty plot lines, boring, terrible characters, really just poor filmmaking on multiple levels, and just confusion at every single level. There were so many times where I was sitting in my screening thinking, who thought this was a good idea? Who looked at the final cut of this movie and said, yeah, let's leave in that awful ADR that's as bad as something you would see in The Room. All of Val Kilmer's scenes, when he comes in, it's not his voice, and it's so plainly obvious. There are a couple of other characters who are so obviously overdubbed, and I don't really see the reason why. In fact, Val Kilmer does nothing in this movie. Spoiler alert, his character is dead the entire time. We just see him in flashbacks. So why have him, this actor, in this movie? I don't get it. I don't know what the hell J.K. Simmons was doing here. I don't know what Fassbender or Ferguson were told to do. None of these actors have any sense of where they're going, what their characters are meant to be, what they're meant to do in pretty much any scene of this film. The writing is terrible. The direction as a whole is just totally misguided. The story never grabs you. It tries to throw out all these little themes about being a mother and what paternity really is, and absent mothers and caring for children, and should you really have children. That might be the point of the novel, but that isn't made clear enough in this movie. This movie is a complete mess from start to finish. There was a point when I was watching this movie in my screening, I fell asleep in the first 20 minutes or so. I could have been asleep for not even 5 minutes. And I woke up and nothing was different. Not a single character had changed. Nothing had happened whatsoever. The Snowman is a big problem of a movie. Like I said, the cast alone, sure, can maybe get some people in, but don't go and see this movie. This was an utter train wreck. There's only a few little tiny things that might push it towards an average grade for some people, but I'd have to say that The Snowman, in my opinion, is a film that is definitely not worth your time. So The Snowman, have you seen it? Please tell me what you think about it in the comments below. There are going to be videos linked down here or one over there. For more Mr. Movies, please press my little face right there. Thanks for watching.